So happy for you, man. The man of the hour. Now, you've mostly been relating, your material towards mental health, mental wellness, and you've not mostly talked about financial literacy and, all this art material and to lean towards where Andrew is also thriving at.
Thank you. Can I start? It's an honor and privilege to be here, indeed. Looking at this particular one, you see, I want to begin from Psalms 107, verse 2. As a Bible reader who is ardent and avid reader of the Bible, I got a sentence which says, "Let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story." So, you realize mental health and money are cousins. They move together. And why not particularly this book of Rock by Choice, as you said? I disappeared here so that I can go and break something. This is the fun. If you turn with me to your book of Rock by Choice on page 16. Sorry, on page 14. On page 14. First of all, you can begin from page 13, and you can see me there. That is me. On page 13. Page 13, do you see me there?
Page 13, that is chapter 2, right?
Chapter 2.
Living in financial crisis.
That has been my life. Now, when you turn to page 14, that's when you see a glimpse of my financial statement. And this ran for 3.5 years. And I can relate mental well-being with the financial crisis. Now, what happened is we have this funnel. This is how funnel is supposed to operate. How incomes should be coming through here and going through here. But in my scenario, I discovered it was the way upside down. The income was coming through here, but the need for expenditures were way bigger than what could happen here. So through that season of the crisis, that's when I discovered a lot must change. And what needs to be done? There must be a turning point. And what does it mean to have a turning point? A turning point is realizing that this is where my life is now, but it's not where it's supposed to be. So the turning must happen so that this funnel must be turned in the right way. So for me, that is the whole idea of the book of Rock by Choice. So that we can have a shift. And this can only be possible through financial literacy. Because the mess I was in here was because of lack of financial literacy. I was sharing with people that I wish I knew certain things the way I know them now. My life would never have been in a mess. But also I thank God because without a mess, there's no message. So the mess I suffered, I chose to turn it so that it becomes a message of transformation for others. So that they don't make the same mistakes we made out of ignorance. So we were ignorant enough by that time. Personally, I was there. Many of us Ugandans I think majority of Ugandans, when we begin our work life, our income, our salary is around that figure. I even know people whose salary were more or less than that. But still, you realize in our Ugandan system, that's why the teachers are crying because their pay is 400. They are now trying to cry that they should be increased. Yesterday I was listening to I was fearing that maybe he was going to declare another, but I'm glad he said the rest, it is still in discussion. But the whole idea here is, with what we have, if we have the right knowledge, if we have the right information, if we have the right concepts, if we have the right fundamentals, the disciplines within financial literacy, then we can make a U-turn so that we can bring the funnel in its rightful position, so that our incomes can come through here, our expenditures go through here, and this is how life is going to be more interesting. Through this, we shall be able to reduce mental health crisis, because majority of the mental crisis is especially the thing of which I also suffered, was because of the financial crisis. And so we can be able to control. That's why these books are not practical books that can help anyone who could be going through a crisis of whatever nature. Because even too, how this turnaround came was on 15th of January, I remember it very well. It was a Friday, the first Friday of the year of 2018. That was when we were in Serena. I even didn't have the money, I was in Masaka. I had to borrow some money to be able to come and attend that event, which was organized by Imagine Me Africa, led by Madame Joan Mugenzi. After reading her book of Corporates and Crossroads, I decided that I must make a change. And when we went in that meeting, it was not even a very long meeting, it was a 3-hour meeting, which was more annoying for me because I was asked obvious questions, but I didn't have the answers. One of the questions I was asking is that in this book now, where the job title, who are you? That question looked simple, but it was complicated for me. Because of my titles, because of the job positions and all that, I was more into the titles than myself. And because of that, I made a lot of crises, a lot of mistakes. So many things fell apart. So that's when I was like, okay, something must change. So we're in the struggle, we're in the movement to see that every Ugandan out there whose life has been like this, where incomes come through here and expenditures through this side, make a shift, make a turning point, make a move so that we can start. I think that's my